praises, honor, and glory is due to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh.
Because all praises to the world calls God, his true name in Hebrew is Yahweh. Ba'ashem meaning in the name, Yahushai being the name of the only begotten Son. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the hopeful Lightweight brothers of the Great Millstone Arizona camp. With another week to edify and prophesy and tell you what's really about to go down, man. Like I said, bring forth thy strong reasoning. Let you have your gods and bring forth their strong reasoning and tell us things that are for to come, or things that are past. And that's what the Lord said to the prophets in these last days to do. And why everybody else is kind of like just casting off everything that Trump's doing off of sugar hate. They're missing the implications of what he's doing because they just say he's an idiot, this stuff, this, that. But they're not really understanding the intensity of what he's actually doing right now with this whole recent, taking over, state police and put it under federal control. Not only the state police being taken over, but they're also taking over all the alphabets and put them under one umbrella so they can sweep through DC. And every city he brought up, he said Los Angeles, Oakland, Chicago, New York. It's everywhere where Jake is. And he said, we had enough of, the thugs. He uses they. Hey,
I got it right here.
You have the whole speech.
There's just a small quote. The title of the article is Trump takes over DC police in extraordinary move and employs National Guard and Capitol. And then if you scroll down a little bit here, it quotes him saying, our capital city has been overtaken by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals.
Mm-hmm. And every adjective that he used, he didn't try to say directly his so-called black people, but he used every adjective of the book, and he's labeling all these cities with a large number of so-called black people in it. And putting those adjectives on it, just like when Clinton, when he was a president, what did he have his wife say? He labeled all Jake super predators. And that's what he was doing. They use code words to incite the people to look at you with more scrutiny. So, grab one that Revelation where it talks about the accuser of that brother. Because that's what's happening. This devil is accusing us to justify a move in. You get that?
And then the next thing that's going to happen is he's going to use the term domestic terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be used on the men out there preaching.
Yep, that's right.
Because that to them is a form of domestic terrorism. The things that we bring out according to the scriptures that go against America will be viewed as treason, be viewed as anti-American, anti-establishment. So they're going to be quick to put these labels, upon us, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's starting at the ground level now, but ultimately it's to persecute the saints.
Yeah.
And that's heavily prophesied in the scriptures as well.
Revelation 12, verse 10, and reads, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now comes salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his Mashiach. And for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night.
And that's what he's doing. When you look at that word accuser, it goes into the word categoreo. So he's categorizing everywhere Jake is as the problem. And he even said in the speech, he said, they're a threat to America. He literally said they're a threat to America. So it's literally, this shit is coming to a head. And Jake, you're going to go through hell. And brothers are in this truth. If you've been faking the funk, especially in these other groups, and you haven't been preparing the body to walk through this straight gate, being an Israelite ain't going to be cute no more. All you Jason just go out there just to fucking have a debate with people, yell at the top of the lung, call Edomite the devil. Now you're going to figure out what the truth is really about. Because now you're going to have to go through it and take a look. And if you want to be proud, like niggas that get pulled over by the cops, like that one nigga some years back, got pulled over, the cop busted his window out, grabbed him out, and said, y'all watch it outside, but you could agree with your adversary. got out of there. But if you haven't been teaching your congregation that these days are going to be terrible, like ICBK, they want to walk through the street acting all hella militant, going to camp with guns and shit, and acting like they so hard. IUIC, them niggas came out with aluminum foil shields.
Yeah.
Big ass, everybody, a bunch of niggas with shields at a time where they got guns.
Yeah, it's sad. It's almost embarrassing when you look at. So you know, the brother touched on it. I saw a video today while USC doing edits, like as if they finna go to war with whomever, and it's like you niggas ain't war ready. The scriptures say the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. We can't go to war with these motherfuckers, man. They got a laser that you can't see that'll blow your fucking head off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You niggas talking about you holding up ancient fighting material. It's pathetic, man. That's why, you know, the only thing you need to be doing is focusing on the salvation and hoping you have mercy from the Lord. Man. That's the only way out of this. Man. That's the only way out. A good example of what's to come too is when you read Maccabees, man, how the Greeks came. How, you know, the Maccabees and the men that they had to flee. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. Like, it wasn't a game when these motherfucking Edomites came. It wasn't a game. After Alexander the freak died, it was hell after that, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when it's time to flee, you gotta go into the mountains and all this. When you read about that, it was not a fucking game. It wasn't about who garment was the cleanest. It wasn't about color coordinating the whole camp. It wasn't about riding on horses. It wasn't about putting up a front for the camera as if you that guy. It wasn't about that. And like Apostle Wakar said years ago, he said, hey, all brothers like to be on the camera. We gonna see in that time. You know, you want all in the music videos. You know, so you gonna see like because that's what Esau's targeting. Not saying that you run from the camera. No, run from the camera. It is what it's been about. But at the same time, it's like if your intentions weren't pure, it's gonna be found out.
And now there's more Edomites coming out just in high positions, showing themselves to be straight racist motherfuckers.
Right.
So what does the scripture say? As the head is, so is the people. So what's about to happen is Jacob's trouble. At the end of the day, that's what it boils down. It's just this is the buildup of Jacob's trouble in its perfection. Right?
And the scriptures say that one people shall stand up and fight against Slovakia. Another people. You know, so able with swords in their hands, so people against people with guns in their hands, bro, that sounds like a fucking race war, bro.
Right. Hey, all you gotta do is look at the opening scenes for the movie. What's the name of that movie? That one ex-UFC fighter. Yeah, Bushwick. If you look at the opening scenes of that, you know, basically what you saw there was people fight against each other. The militia fight against the people in the little town there, and they would just kill each other at will, man.
Yeah.
You know, spraying each other, just going crazy, man. It's gonna be that way in that time.
And I like to say too, you 2/3 niggas ain't safe just because you're not claiming you a Hebrew Israelite. Right? Y'all niggas not safe. Y'all get it first. From me, I mean, you know, the Lord gonna start at from the men that know that they're Israelites, but as far as them being in DC and all you gang infested niggas and all that, like, bro, like, there's videos of them going up to y'all porch and saying, hey, you know, trying to search y'all.
Yeah.
And shit like that. Like, just because you're a Hebrew Israelite by blood, but just because you ain't claiming that, I don't mean you ain't finna get your head knocked off.
And they don't matter. It don't matter if you think you're an upstanding citizen or none of that. That don't. You can say you're a Christian or
Right.
it ain't fucking matter. The scriptures tell you he had a perpetual hatred.
Man.
But that's an unending type of thing. So in this time, while the Lord is taking the chain or loosen the grip on the leash on this dog Edomite, he about to start fighting niggas, man. And you see it happen. It's just night one, they did 23 arrests. Damn. Night one. And the goal for the Northern Kingdom or so-called Latinos was 30,000 deported a month. Then 23 in one night. What happens when you are actually in trade of these criminal goods, and they put a number on it.
Bro, they'll probably set up.
Work for professional.
They'll probably
Yeah.
set up
Yeah,
Read the scripture first.
some incentives for their
For the rest,
for the officers and everything, bro.
just like you got quotas for them to give people tickets,
Yep.
right?
Every month.
You got to get that.
God, this is Ezekiel 35:5 says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh,
See, it's perpetual hatred, and it shed their blood by the force of the sword. There's gonna be there was I think it was in 2022, there was a situation where, I forgot what state it is, I think it was in Tennessee, it's one of the Midwestern states, but you had a group of officials that ran a person off the road, had the car flipped. When he got out the car, he started running and shot him in the back. There's a video of the cop sitting there saying, yeah, that nigga is not moving.
How about that?
You ran somebody off the road, made the car flip. He comes out the car because he's like, why the fuck would they sit here and push me off the road like that? Then you shoot them and they watch you die. These are the niggas you're gonna have to deal with this time. The scriptures call this devil the anointed cherub. He was anointed. He was given a job from on high to put you niggas to death in this time. It says he bared not the sword in vain. Right? This is give me that revelation about the show.
You want to get that word for perpetual?
Yeah, but
This is that word perpetual. It's olam. It says long duration, antiquity, futurity, forever. It says ever, everlasting, evermore, perpetual, old, ancient world. It says ancient time, long time of past. It says forever, always, continuous, existence, perpetual, everlasting, indefinite, or unending future, eternity. So that means he can't it's not in him to his spirit don't bother. Scripture said that they were fighting in the womb, man. Jacob and Esau. See, you can't get around that, man. You fight somebody you have a disagreement with, you don't like, you adverse with. They were babies fighting in the womb, man, at odds. So when they were born, and one people's a people, the other people's a people, you think these people gonna have likeness for each other? No, they don't fuck with us, man. They don't give a damn about us. You gotta go back to the time where, what was that, Columbus, when he said he couldn't let his sword go?
yeah.
You had those Amalekites too that went to
to
Jerusalem in 1948, and
Jason Moore, my father.
you had one dude saying that he couldn't let his hand go off one Amalekite said he couldn't let his hand go off the handle of his gun when he was shooting at all the Palestinians when they first got to Israel.
But that was said about Christopher Columbus too.
Yeah, with the sword.
With the sword, man. So this is just a repeat of that perpetual hatred that the brothers are talking about, man. And that's all, like the brother said, they were fighting the womb. That's all. That was all appointed by the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what you're seeing is the beginning of sorrows, the beginning of Jacob's trouble, the beginning of tribulation, and a big part of that is Esau killing you tribes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Scripture said that he'll bring a third part to the fire, man. You know, he said that he promised that death will come to 2/3 of our people. You know, that's in the Scriptures. So ultimately, this is by the Lord. So I'm gonna get this Jeremiah 15:3. Well, I'll start at verse 2. It says, "It shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus says the Most High Power, such as for death to death, and such as for the sword to the sword, and such as for the famine to the famine, and such as for the captivity to the captivity. And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, says the Most High, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy." So that's Esau's mission right now, man. To devour and destroy, to put into captivity, to bring forth a sword, to cause famine. All these things are in the Scriptures. To bring forth captivity, man. putting people in jail. You got that alligator Alcatraz was called.
Yeah.
And what do you think? They're taking these people that they captured in DC.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, they're probably not sent to regular jails.
The regular jails are overcrowded.
Yeah, because plus they're not having no due process.
In DC, they don't even have regular jail. You go federal in DC.
Right.
They don't have regular jails in DC.
And it's not only the so-called criminals; they're gathering the homeless. You know, everybody, man.
Yep.
There was a video where they said, this is what they're doing to the homeless in DC. And basically, they got this dude in a wheelchair. They got like a sack over his head. You know, so it's there like that. That's when you put a sack over here. That's like a prisoner of war type jacket, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so this is the war that the scriptures talk about, man. That the brother brought out. What people shall fight against another people, right? This is what you're seeing. You know, this is very specific of what the scriptures here was happening today.
Yeah.
But a lot of you jakes can't see that, man, because the Lord is blinding you to that. Because, like the scripture said, you're numbered to the family. You're numbered to the sword.
Mm-hmm.
You're predestined for death, and the elect will ultimately be predestined for salvation. Go ahead, bro.
That's what just got me from that. You got that?
Start with it or shoot the point.
You go to the one.
This is Genesis 27.
This is Esau talking.
And I'm verse 24, 34. And it reads, and when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with great and exceeding bitter cry, and said, his father, bless me, even me or my father. And he said, this my brother responsibility, he had taken away that blessing. And he said, is he not like my name Jacob? For he has found me these 2 times. He took my birthright, and behold, now he had taken my blessing. He has said, how thou remember a blessing from me?
You see? The days more than my father. Keep going. Esau hated Jacob because of blessing. They know we have the blessing. That's why they're coming down. They see the prophecies coming past. They see Jake waking up everywhere. They see Israelites becoming a household name. They can no longer say black Hebrew Israelites to put a negative connotation on it. Now that a lot of people are just saying Hebrew Israelites. Now a lot of people are just agreeing like, yeah, we are Israelites, but they'll still hold on to the Christian narrative. So it's that real for this devil. So he sees it. Keep going, bro.
Verse 38, and it reads, and Esau said to his father, hast thou not but one blessing? My father, bless me, give me also. My father, and Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac's father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be in the fatness of the earth, and of the dew heaven from above, and by the sword thou shalt live, and shalt serve thy brother. It shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, thou shalt break his yoke off thy neck.
Talking about the rise of the Edomite Empire, right? When he had the dominion, Jake went down. So now he's coming back down. And he's gonna fight tooth and nail. Keep going, bro.
Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherein his father blessed him.
Mm-hmm.
And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob.
You see, in the day, that's exactly where we at, man. He's coming to the day where he's gonna slay his brother Jacob. Because really, this whole AI system, robotics, automating everything, they don't want Jake around no more. When you have all that, why you need Jake? You just need him just to have something to hate on. Like, they can keep Jake like pets in small numbers for that class.
Because they don't view Jake as intellectually equal to them.
Mm-hmm.
And the scripture says right there that he hated him because of his blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Then who else did that? Cain.
Yep.
Cain was hated Abel because his offering was accepted and his wasn't.
Yep.
Because first of all, he gave the wrong offering.
Yep.
You know, he gave fruit, I believe, and Abel gave an animal sacrifice because the law was old back then. You know, and what happened? Cain came with his spirit of Esau prior to Esau. But it's that same spirit, man. And it's that Cain slew his brother Abel. That what you're seeing the longest feud in all of world history.
Yeah.
ongoing. There was there's no dissolution of disagreement. I hate you, you hate me. But now the thing about it is that Esau's getting more vocal with that hate.
Yeah.
He ain't trying to hide it no more, man. There's numerous videos on TikTok they just said these people, the usual suspects.
Yep.
All this, every time you show, Jake being as good as he can be, and like I said, that's what the scripture accuses prison of. That's what social media does. They point the finger at the worst of our people and say, all you people are like
Yeah.
that.
And it's literally a small substrate.
Right.
Jake just fucked up.
Right.
It's a small substrate, and they always locked in to four corners the rest of their life.
Right.
They in the smallest portion of the city that's overcrowded in the hood and fight over like 5-6 blocks. Esau everywhere, and somehow this nigga's I think it's 85% of all sociopaths and serial killers are Edomites. Right. 85%. So who's really the threat? It's you devils, man.
Right.
But you sympathize with Edomite crime and you condemn Israelite crime.
Right. Look at the whole Catholic Church scandal. That's a degenerate behavior.
Yeah.
Committed by a small group of Edomites. They're raping and molesting the altar boys. But no one says all you Catholics are child molesters.
Well, they'll get on the news.
Yeah.
These small hatters will get on the news and put it up that they're killing these Palestinians, how they're doing it.
Right.
And then nobody sits there and says, not even these other Edomites will sit here and say these niggas are all murderers. But all that, it's literally a culture. They write nursery rhyme books in Israel that justifies them stealing from the people. So you devils, man, all your history is filled with blood, robbery, and murder. Every bit of it. You didn't build one society by yourself. You always took over a society and planted yourself and this made it your own.
That's what it is. There's a scripture that says, this is going to the city that was built upon blood.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Well, destruction, man.
Yep.
You got that revelation. What, real quick? Revelation. You, I got the little accuser of thy brother.
No, I didn't get it.
Get it. What about, no, he already got accuser of brother.
I looked up his name.
I need,
Go down great rough.
yeah, say him. Great rap.
I got it real quick. It's Revelation 12, verse 12. It means rejoice. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and dwell in them. Those inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, because he knows that he had but a short time.
You see, this devil's coming down with very bad because he knows that he has but a short time. So these laws, this legislation, like it says in Daniel's, I think it's 9:24, where it tells you that what he shall through his policy he's going to craft a prosper in his hand. This is just another part of the policies. He's using the law to sit here and twist things to make sure that he can come against Jake. And this is a form of the great wrath. You don't know, you don't see the extent of this, and it's so cold. Did you see them building the narrative that Jake is violent, he's the problem, everything that's wrong with the inner cities is all Jake? And they're going to start tying this into pseudoscience and twisting history, because Trump is literally on the podium making up shit, saying, oh yeah, they said that crime was down to next to zero, and we don't see that. I heard somebody say then he sat there and said, you see what we did at the border? We saw the last 3 weeks, zero entry. Now that's a damn lie, but at the same time, it's like he's on the podium blatantly saying lies, because if you say it on TV, the people will believe.
Right. And he's setting up the propaganda machine to make Jake a villain. Because even he's going so far as to take away certain articles that glorify Jake's heroics.
Yeah.
Like they took down the Navajo Code Talkers. They took down that down off of the It's just a stereotype reinforced. It's a propaganda being reinforced. Because when you put a war against the people, you gotta dehumanize them first. That's what they do in every war.
Yeah.
You know, whatever the enemy is, they humanize the enemy to this animal-like creature, so you won't have no feelings of remorse about killing him. And that's what they're doing to Jake right now.
Yeah.
They're bringing down the so-called Black Latino Native American to a dehumanized form of being. So it's okay to do this, and that to them.
Yeah.
It's okay to kill them. It's okay to round them up and feed them to alligators. It's okay to take away their children. It's all okay because they're animals.
Well, the scripture say that. He said, I offend not because they have transgressed against their power.
Right.
And they're literally going to do a self-justification program by how hard they can hit you, Jake, man. It's literally, everything is, he went through a whole list of shit that happened in the news. Provided no context for anything, but just straight up just said, oh, this happened, it's terrible, what happened? I had people over here that, people I knew that I killed, stabbed in the back and the head, and then no surrounding evidence, nothing, no names or nothing like that. So it's about to be crazy, bro. It's about to be crazy. You got the you on that?
Yeah, this is from the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, and verse 12. Says, "For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them."
And that's what Jake is doing, because when bro brought up the video, the first wave when the cops going through the neighborhood and stopping Jake while he's on his porch, like, they asked him, you know what Trump's doing right now? They said no. Because niggas don't watch the news.
Bro, they don't pay attention, man.
Niggas don't watch the news. It's ignorance and bliss for them. So they're literally fish getting taken in the evil net. They're literally Jake that don't know shit about what's going on, and it's about to just take them suddenly.
Hey, well, that's why the scriptures tell us to watch, man.
Mm-hmm.
To watch, bro.
Right.
Watch. You know, because, hey, bro, it's for good reason. Because they are making moves to destroy all that.
Right.
You know, and that's
Yeah, exactly.
this shit that's the stuff that is taking place, man. It is a direct step towards Jacob's trouble, man.
Right.
But if I'm not mistaken, weren't there a camp or two or someone that had said that tried to discredit Jacob's trouble or something like that?
Mm-hmm. That was IUIC. IUIC. He did it to a Jamaican dude. He was in Jamaica.
Not preparing
And the dude cut his ass with the scriptures.
the flock, bro. It's like, look at everything that's happened, bro. It's not far-fetched, man. And look at who you're dealing with, man. You're dealing with someone whose blessing is the sword.
I mean, it's just the history of the scriptures, though. Mm-hmm. When you look at the pattern, like the scripture said, the Lord likened his judgment unto a ring, as there's no slackness in the first, there's no swiftness in the last. Right? It's literally everything's going full circle. Just like when you go to the book of Judges, it's full circle. Right?
Nothing new
Jake
under the
gets
sun.
oppressed, the Lord raises up the judge delivers Jake. Jake has a time of righteousness, then they fall back into wickedness, and then they get taken over. This is the same thing. This is why we know Jacob's trouble is going to be in his last lives too.
Man.
Because what? Jake's been oppressed. The Lord rose up judges through the prophets coming back. And then we gave out the judgment. And then the heathen are going to come in with great wrath. And the Lord's going to bring deliverance through Yahweh Shai. It's literally,
Nothing new under the sun.
so it's perfect. So when we know to be happening now, it all builds in to the major thing, Jacob's trouble. And even now, I got a whole list of things I got to put in the lesson, but there's a woman that went to the grocery store. You know how they made the new rule on food stamps. You can't
No junk food.
no junk food. She went to the register No juice. Juice is taken off the list. You can't get juice. Snack cakes taken off the list. You can't get snack cakes.
No more little Debbie's.
No more little Debbie's. And you
But my
know,
zero game.
yep, and you know chips is probably on there.
Yeah.
Right? Those are some items that Jake only eats.
There's even certain fast food restaurants that accept EBT. I think
Mhm.
Jack in the Box is one of them.
Yep. So expect a lot of those Jack in the Box restaurants start dwindling out too. Those are gonna get shut down because a lot of niggas just use the EBT to eat there. There's homeless people that get food stamps.
Mhm.
What they gonna do if you can't get junk food? That shit helps homeless people because you can't walk around with fresh shit.
Right.
So literally, you Jake are already in the midst of a very tough ass time.
And not only are they restricting what you can purchase with the EBT card, they're limiting the funds for the EBT card as well.
Yep.
You know, if you was getting 1,000 a month, you're gonna get maybe not even half of that.
Yeah.
You know, so that's gonna put you in even more of a situation. You know, you're getting 1,000, you probably get 60 now.
Yeah.
You know, and even with the public housing, the Section 8, they're cutting that off too, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're limiting that too. They're putting time limits on that too.
Yeah, I think they said like 2 years.
2 years, and you gotta be actively pursuing
A job. But if you have a job, they're gonna cut your food stamps, and then they said if you're gonna be on food stamps, you have to have proof that you're looking for a job. So if you get a job, it's cutting your food stamps anyway. If you don't have a job, they're cutting your food stamps anyway.
Yeah, because all it takes is a certain dollar amount to cut it off. That's why they got what they call the working poor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a lot of Jake, they fall into that category.
And that's what he's going after is the poor.
Right.
That's literally his whole thing is we're going after the slums. He said there's a bunch of slums. They said Jake is the drug addicts. They want to go after drug addicts. There's a bunch of homeless. A lot of Jake are homeless, but there's a lot more Edomite stuff. Like they're literally just everything is going after you, Jake.
And what is this going to cause? It's going to cause a state of desperation, and that's where you're going to see higher crime. That's where you're going to see more thievery. That's where you're going to see more killings, because that survival instinct is going to kick in, and Jay's going to do whatever he got to do to keep himself fed, man. Go ahead, bro.
What you got? Oh, you got that.
Accuser? Alright,
No, you got that.
Standard, right?
Yes, man.
This is Isaiah 59, and I'll start at 18. It says, according to their deeds, accordingly, he will repay fury to his adversaries, recompense to his enemies. To the islands, he will repay recompense. 19, it says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and the glory from the rising of the sun, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him.
You see? The enemy coming in like a flood. That's when you, Jake, are gonna, like the scripture said, in the day of thy power, that people shall be willing. That's when you're gonna see a lot of Jake want to sit here and try to find a camp, shalom you and all that shit, man. Oh, that's when you, Jake, is gonna sit here and be like, you know what, maybe them Israelites was right. Because right now, it's a lot more. The amount of scoffers that are coming now, they don't come to you on the street because they know they can't do anything. Now the scoffers just make their own videos on TikTok
Yeah,
and YouTube
pretty much.
because they know if they come to you and they have to go through the scriptures, it's not gonna work. So they control their scoffing by going online and making their own video. So it's like the scoffing is really at the level that it was 8 years ago. But now instead of us getting scoffers when we're out there preaching, hey, get over here. Now get that. Now the scoffers are not out there when we're preaching. Now they're on YouTube talking shit, on TikTok making videos and talking shit. So a lot of them same niggas that were scoffing, they gonna sit here and see what we were saying was true. Because all this talk about racism was dead, niggas tried to believe that racism was dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You remember, like, niggas really tried to think. I remember when even right before I came into the truth, I remember niggas was acting like racism wasn't a thing no more because they were able to sit here and get jobs, make their own money, go to school.
Yeah, they had equal opportunity, so
Yeah.
to speak, man.
And now it's coming back, and niggas are coming to realization like, shit, racism is still here.
America's founding it's so normal that if you don't really pay attention to it, which Jake don't pay attention to shit,
Right.
it'll go over your head. But really, like a lot of these Edomites, they stumble into $1 million positions, man.
Mm-hmm.
Niggas don't stumble. You gotta run through a nigga face. You gotta rap your ass off.
Yeah.
You gotta act your ass off. You gotta do the monkey for the hunky all the motherfucking time to get a piece, a crumb of the piece of the pie.
And then when you get there, you better remember that you're still in it.
Still a nigga, or they gonna show you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For instance, right, with the Shiloh Sanders thing, like, you had the whole NFL in cahoots on one man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not really one man because his father and all that, but that goes to show you the extent that it will go to do something to a Jake. A whole league boycotting this man to try to prove a point. You know what I'm saying? But it just goes to show you, like, that hatred, again, like brothers are saying, that hatred is perpetual. It's just, you can't get around it. I don't give a fuck how nice you think Edomite is. He ain't your friend, man.
Right.
And the ones that is, friendly, or the ones that are different are more than likely Jakes.
Right.
That look like Esau or look like the other nations. But these other nations don't fuck. You ain't never had a decent conversation with a Moabite. You ain't never had it. No. It don't happen.
Right.
You ain't never had a decent conversation with Indian. Not feather. You ain't never had it. Or Ammonite.
Because they don't want to have a conversation with you.
Exactly.
To begin with.
Exactly. They not fucking with you, man.
Yeah.
They go in their stores if you want to. Look how they look at you. Go in Moab shit and go buy that stale Snicker bars that they've been having for the last 5 years. They're gonna look at you like get the fuck out of my store. You're their main customer. You're the reason why the license on it.
Right.
Because they set up in y'all neighborhoods, in our neighborhood, in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Liquor store. Go them Ishmaelites. You know what I'm saying? They slide back that door and drive through liquor stores to be Ishmael behind it.
Oh yeah. All the time.
All the time. And as soon as you drive over, what they do? Talk shit. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you in there, but yet, guess what? The majority of their clientele is Jake. But yet, they hate you. They hate you because they're made to. And Jake can wrap their fucking mind around it. You know?
Second Ezra.
Get it. I get it.
Second Ezra 16. I'll start at 70. And it says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great,
Slide, bro. Can I say this real quick? Slide. I used to deal with an Ishmaelite. One is testimony real quick. I used to deal with an Ishmaelite woman, right? And her father hated me so bad that he made her leave the house for dealing with me. To the point where I had to go over there one time and he locked himself in a room. So he didn't have to come outside and see me. I didn't even go inside. He locked himself in a room. But yet, his side woman was an Israelite woman. So here it is, the same mentality we got towards them, because we know the truth, is the mentality they've been had towards us before we even knew the truth.
Right.
They don't want you dealing with their women or their daughter, but they can't help the fuck but to fuck with Jake. You know what I'm saying? But yet they'll turn around and go implant their seed in our women. Or fuck with our women and do that. See, they view it like how we view it. It's you niggas that don't view it that way. It's you niggas that go be nice to these people that's poisoning y'all. It's you niggas, man. But it is good to see, so you guys can see the horns of this devil. Well, what the fuck we've been talking about. When they start snatching you niggas up, just like how ICE will snatch your Instacart up. Now the troops come to snatch you niggas up. You know what I'm saying? So now you're going to see exactly what we've been talking about. And you're going to realize that your enemy is not your brother. Your enemy is that motherfucker over there that's coming to get you. The real enemy.
No matter how many churches you went to and he was clapping and saying, "Oh yeah, man," all this, man, that nigga hated you when you was there too. He just thought it was more godly to hide it. That's all it is, man. Like the scripture say, when he doeth it good, he doeth it unwillingly.
Dang.
It's really not in them to sit here and like you. It's just not. It's not part of their nature. Get that one and get that Cassie Trench, brother. The trench.
This is Second Ezra 16 and verse 70.
You wrote that.
It says,
"Oh,
Well, that just makes the side, you still should be kind of wary, but they might be jakes, man.
Yeah.
It might be jakes, you know, but the scripture says not to trust our enemy.
So,
And simple-minded Jake trusts the enemy. Look at all the Jake that voted for Trump. That's
Yeah.
trusting your enemy.
yeah.
War is smoother than butter, right? But war was in his heart. You know, so his first term was his war is smoother than butter. This term is the war is in his heart.
Yeah, that's true. Ooh.
That's what you're seeing. You know, so scriptures once again prove everything right. Go ahead.
Hey, there was the brothers in Boston, the Boston camp. 'Cause there's a lot of Irish people in Boston.
Right.
They said them ain't nothing but niggas.
Yeah.
They act just like niggas, man. You gotta think, 'cause back then, even when we were, getting segregated, the Irish couldn't go to spots either. Nobody was fucking with them because they know it's gonna be populated like a motherfucker.
Well, check this out, man. With the Irish, when they went to war with Mexico, they defected and they went to fight with Mexico.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they saw that the Mexican people were similar to them. So, and there's even a parade every year in Mexico. I think it's called St. Patrick's, Battalion, where they honored that, So they recognize them, So it's all Jake what I'm trying to say.
So,
You got that?
Yeah. This is Second Measures 16 and 70 says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. There shall be they shall be like madmen sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses." Hey, bro, this is what they're coming to do, man. To quite literally take you out of your houses, man. Because the bro had said before we turn on the camera that Trump is going to allow the police to basically to operate without any restrictions.
Right.
So if they gotta get someone, bro, then they're gonna go up in the house to get them. Verse
Last part here.
72 says, "For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses." That's it.
No,
Keep going.
the verse before that.
Verse 71 says, "They shall be like they shall be like madmen sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord."
And now they can just go into a neighborhood and act like they suspect a crime, and they're literally indemnified by the federal government. Because what do you do if you feel like you're wrong and the state government isn't following the rules? Do a federal case. You take it to the Supreme Court. Well, if you already gave the judges federal rule, there's nothing to take to the Supreme Court. Your case is already in federal hands. So being mad and sparing none, it don't matter who they find. If it's a Jake, it don't matter if you're a birth citizen or not. You through. This is how it is, man. You got to cast the trench.
Yeah, this is
You got precept?
I'm good.
Precept?
Yeah, I'll work out. Is Psalm 73 on start verse, honestly, verse 3. It's for I was envious and foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked, for there were no bands in their depth, for their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither plagued like other men. Therefore pride passeth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. You don't understand this. Esau, he did not care about even the constitution that he made himself. He's getting rid of even the national war citizenship. He has a perpetual hatred against all of Israel, man. He will hunt down. He will make sure any way he's try to hunt you down is to get rid of you guys. He really did not like Israel. He's trying to get rid of us. He's trying to move us to the wayside. And so years and years on end, he's trying to get rid of us every single day.
trench about thee, in capacity rather, in
You might want to
capacity.
start up a little bit on that.
I'll start at 42. Saying, if thou hast known, I'll start at 40, bro. It says, and he answered and said unto them, I tell you that if these should hold their peace, the stones would immediately cry out. And when he was come near, he beheld the city and wept over it, saying, if thou hadst known, even thou at least in this thy day, the things which belong unto thy peace, but now they are hid from thine eyes.
You see, the word has been preached unto you, Jake. If you would have known the things that were for your peace, man, you would have took really hold of this thing and you would have changed your life. So you don't have to get put in these predicaments that are about to come. In the way that the masses are going to get put into. Alright? Keep going, bro.
Thou hast known, even thou at least in this thy day, the things which belong unto thy peace, but now they are hid from thine eyes.
You see.
For the days shall come upon thee, that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee in capacity round, and keep thee in on every side. And
You
they,
see, they're going to cast a trench about you and keep you in on every side. That's martial law. Shutting down the cities. Literally, the scripture said, I think that's in Exodus where it says you shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able. Literally, martial law. You're literally entrapped. You can't leave your house at nighttime if you want. If you do leave, you gotta be in your car right to where the fuck you going. They're putting up, hey, and it's gonna happen in every major city. They're literally gonna take over. Jay, you fucking through. Keep going, bro.
it says, for the days shall come upon thee, that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee in capacity round, and keep thee in on every side. It shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee.
You see, lay your ass to the ground, man. Mowing niggas down. Remember that scene on I think it was the Forever Purge. It's on one of the purge where that dude they called Big Daddy went through the street and they opened up the back of the truck and he turned on the machine gun.
Yeah, I think that's it, bro. Or is that the first person, no?
Yeah, I think it is the first purge. The first purge. That's what it is. And he opened up the back of the truck, started laying niggas down. That's how they say you might about to come in. They gonna lay you even to the ground. Done, man. Keep going, bro.
Yep. It says, 44, it says, and shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee. And they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation.
You see? Because you didn't want to take this thing serious, then they're going to make sure they're fully dismantling you niggas, man. This is what's coming. This was here, man. Jacob's trouble is finally starting to hit at a time when niggas have shown that they cannot be recruited. Bro's got any precepts? Okay. Shit, that's all I got, man. Well, Lord willing, this is edifying. Call him up. Yeah, how?
Shimmy, Shimmy,